Alright everybody, welcome back to the Bass Bros Podcast. I'm here with my brother Philip as usual.
What's up guys, how's it going?
And our special guest, Ivana
Hello.
Robles.
Yeah.
Got it right. I almost forgot.
Didn't even check the guest's last name.
I just know it. I've known Ivana for so long. I was like, oh man, and I don't say her last name a lot, so I thought I messed it up immediately.
You got it right. I'm proud of you.
So this is an unconventional podcast. As usual, we do fishing stuff. Ivana, do you fish?
I think I've gone once when I was 16.
So we're not going to be talking much fishing on this podcast. But what Ivana does is I've been working out with her for like, I don't know, when you were at Elite. So maybe like 2 or 3 years, maybe?
It's been a little while.
Yeah. And basically, she is one of my trainers at the Blueprint LA. So we're going to be talking a lot about exercise and kind of how Ivana got into exercise and just like have a cool podcast.
Cool.
And we're like, as you can tell, huge fitness freaks.
Yeah.
I mean, we're like 0% body fat, totally in shape. So this is going to fit well with us.
I'm surprised you guys aren't like, you don't have lines of like pre-workout
Yeah.
going right now.
Well, that was what was kind of cool about yesterday. I'm glad that you guys got to do a workout and kind of get a feel for it. How was it, Philip?
It was awesome. You know, it was weird with just me being the guy doing the work. Like, I was the guy that was working out.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, and it's obviously because I'm genetically superior. That's why it was me. And, you know, I had a really good time doing that. It was fun. It was pretty tough workout. Got through it it was tough. Let me tell you that. But I got through it.
Philip had to jump on a box 5 times and do a burpee. And then, what was that? A kettlebell?
He did a kettlebell clean.
And he was smoked after round 1.
I wouldn't say I was smoked.
You couldn't even jump on the box.
I wasn't. Let me just say this. Where's the video evidence?
You know what, Ivana? I have.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, it was recorded.
Bad news.
No, it wasn't.
Shut up.
Couldn't find it. I'm looking all over for it. It was recording when I recorded it.
So guess what? I smoked yesterday's workout, baby.
The bad news is Philip has to go back.
Oh, round 2, baby.
I don't know about that.
No, you know what, Philip? I looked with Steve. We found it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's on the big game. I don't know how I couldn't miss it, but
It sucked.
Steve's our tech wizard.
I got my ass kicked. Would you call it a HIIT workout? Is that what they're calling that?
So high intensity interval training.
So there is nothing high intensity about my movements. I'm really good at like slow presses.
You did awesome for not doing a lot of...
She doesn't know this.
Go into your diet and like
Oh.
what do you eat here?
So now,
do you have bad habits, good habits?
I got terrible habits. I smoke cigarettes every now and then, and by every now and then, probably 3 a day. I chew tobacco. I drink soda by the gallon. I have actually cut way back on my fast food intake, and it's still pretty gnarly. So like when I'm going to work, I get a number 9 from McDonald's. I don't know if you know anything about
number 9.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know
explain
what
it.
it
It's being the big workout buff that I am. It's super lean and super healthy. It's 2 sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffins with a hash brown. But I'll get 2 of those.
Okay.
So I have 4 sandwiches that'll last me till about lunchtime.
What time do you lunch?
Okay.
About noon.
And when do you get those sandwiches at? What time?
That's like 5:30 in the morning. So I'll eat 2 right then and there, and then I'll have 2 more around 9:30, 10.
You got hash browns too?
Oh yeah, love them.
Don't forget those.
So then I go from there to lunch, and I'll go get back at my Golden Arches. I get 2 McDoubles, 2 McChickens, large Coke. Down that. Get food on the way home, which is probably like a fish fillet or something. I love McDonald's. Then I have dinner.
Then you have dinner.
Yeah, but
So, question. You said you cut back your fast food intake.
so now I don't get that was my diet
that was
previous.
prior.
So
Okay.
now I'm trying to lose weight, so I only get 2 sausage egg McMuffins in the morning,
Okay.
and I get a McDouble and a McChicken, and then either another McDouble or McChicken, so I have 3 instead of 4.
Okay.
And then I try and skip food on the way home, so I just go have dinner.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you have any advice, I can't get down from 265 pounds. I don't know where I could use the cutbacks.
I think maybe we could start by just trying to cut McDonald's completely out. You know?
No.
Well, maybe we can find a balance. You know, find something that can substitute it for a little bit, and if you're willing to take that challenge and maybe cut it out for a little. 'Cause what did you tell me before? What did that workout make you realize?
Oh, I quit smoking. I didn't have one today. My lungs were burning. I sat in the parking lot after that, hacking up a lung for like 20 minutes. He's going, "Are you gonna die?"
I know. I was like, the workout's over. It's been over.
And I'm just sitting there hacking up a lung. But I swear to God, I will never have another cigarette sober.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I feel like that's
Now
a
you
huge
just
step.
drive all the time.
Yeah, just bad habits left and right.
We gotta start somewhere though.
Yeah.
So for you to do that workout, which was a 6-minute EMOM,
Mm-hmm.
it took a 6-minute EMOM for you to realize that maybe you need to change a couple habits. And
Mhm.
I think that's a great thing. The awareness is, I think, key there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just so you guys know at home, it's not as easy as it sounds. It was
Okay.
only
took 6 minutes to break through
It's a 6-minute EMOM, so there's a set of workouts that you have to get done every minute on the minute.
Yeah.
So 6 rounds of the set workouts, the remainder of your time is your rest time. And I would say Philip had about 15 to 10 seconds between each round, so he
It's
took
not
through
bad.
it.
Yeah, well, the EMOMs destroy me too, and I'm no angel when it comes to eating. I eat ice cream is what Ben and Jerry's, man.
Oh,
I
God.
love it. I love it. I can't
What's your
stop.
favorite Ben and Jerry's?
It's called Everything But the Kitchen Sink, I think, and they just throw everything
Everything?
into it. Yeah, and it's amazing.
I
love
actually
it.
really like Ben and Jerry's
It's
too.
delicious.
I'm a fish food guy. I like fish food.
Mhm.
That's a bomb.
But yeah, EMOM is usually one part of our workout, right? EMOM,
Yeah.
we do a lot more. And dude, I wanted to throw up. It was the first time I went to the Blueprint, and I was like, wow, I like this. Yeah, I'm weird. I like this.
They'll see the video, but literally in the middle of doing that workout, I'm going, "Hey guys, I don't need to do it. We're filming this. We can cut and
Yeah.
edit it and make it look like I did it."
You're like, nope, we're committed. We're doing it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Me and Ivana met when we were younger, right, Ivana?
Yeah.
Do you remember any instances? It was so long ago. I remember like kind of seeing you around in high school.
Well, I've seen you at Dylan's house.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just, I think, around in general, you with all the Bishop kids. And
Yeah,
I was all the Torrance, and when we had our little intertwines, like, that's when we
yeah,
connected.
yeah.
But I think it's just funny how it all falls through later.
It's kind of
like
weird, yeah.
Over 10 years later.
Mhm.
Here
And
we
then
are.
I met her at Elite where you became a black belt in Krav, right? You kind of told us.
Yes.
Is that where you trained for that black belt, or how did that all come about?
Yes, so, I mean, if we want to backtrack a little, I started doing martial arts when I was 12.
Okay.
I started at another school in Carson, IMB, International Martial Arts and Boxing. And I was hesitant to do it. Growing up, I was a dancer and an ice skater.
How'd you get into it? How'd you get into martial arts?
Well, I was first in ice skating and I did ballet, and then I went into dancing and I did competitions for dancing. And I told myself when I was 11 that I was never going to do it again. I was like, I hate dancing. I never want to do this again. And my dad said, if you're not going to dance, you're going to do martial arts. And I was like, ugh, like, that's for boys. Like, I don't want to do that. And he's like, that's what you're doing. I was like, this is terrible. So I still remember my first day going into the gym, and I was terrified because it was definitely more of an old school style gym. And I was 12 years old, this small little Hispanic girl with her glasses on, and I walked into class, they bowed everyone in, and the first thing we did was mount escapes. And if you remember mount escapes, someone sits on top of you, like so my back's on the ground and someone's sitting on top of me. As a 12-year-old little girl, I have pretty much all boys in class. It's not really, it was a normalized girl thing to do then.
Yeah.
And I'm just laying there like, why am I doing this? Like, this is terrible. Like, I hate every part of this. And I kind of trucked through it. I kept doing it all throughout my middle school, and then I kind of fell off in high school just because I played sports. I was really involved in high school with just everything going on there. And I would dip back in and out doing martial arts, and I kind of told myself I was doing it just to make my dad like happy and my grandma happy.
Yeah.
And I still remember when I was 15, they moved me up into the adult program, and that was the first time I got punched in the face. It was with a glove on, but mindful, but still, as a young girl, like they're like, all right, everyone put your mouthpieces in, and I was like, oh, I don't have a mouthpiece. Like, I didn't know we were doing this. I have my gloves on, this guy's standing in front of me, and they're like, all right, you guys are going to lightly spar. And I told him, I'm like, hey, I don't have a mouthpiece. Can we go light? And he just punched me in the face, and I was like, oh! this is terrible. Like, I still hate this. And I just was in a constant state of begging the front desk girl to come roll with me on the mat. Like, please, like, I don't want to do this with boys anymore. And I just kept doing it. And I basically, like, once I graduated high school, I told myself I was never going to do martial arts again.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, I was like, I'm done with it. I'm doing this for other people, not for myself. And then when I was 19, I had 2 jobs. I was working at my mom's work, which is in Carson. It was a freight forwarding company doing data entry. And then I was also working at Toyota Sports Center, and I had a couple different jobs there. And my cousin had called me, and he's like, hey, like, are you looking for a job? The martial arts school I work at is looking for a front desk receptionist. And I was like, no. Like,
yeah.
I don't need another job. I was like, I have a lot going on. I'm like, well, let me hear more about it. Like, what is it about? How much does it pay? And it turns out that I was able to take that one job and not have to have the other 2. So after 4 years of working those other 2 jobs, when I was 19, I moved to Elite, and I started working there as a front desk receptionist. And early on, the thing was I hadn't trained in probably, like, consistently in a couple of years. Like, it was on and off so much. I'm like, I don't remember anything. Like, I don't even want to do martial arts. Like, I'm just here for the job. Mm-hmm. And slowly but surely, my boss was like, all right, you got to get on the mat. Like, you got to start doing this. My background was primarily in boxing, so Muay Thai was foreign to me. Kicking anything, I'm like, what? Like, my legs do that? Like, I'm like, I don't think so. And I was so discouraged for so long. Like, I would go into these instructor tests and all of these different little classes. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I felt dumb. And so it kind of took a step back, and like about the first year that I was there, I hardly trained. Mm-hmm. And then I finally started jumping into it. I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. There was a trip that came up that we went to once a year at Elite, which was in Thailand. And it was to go train at a Muay Thai camp out there and kind of have like a little active vacation.
What camp was it?
Tiger Muay Thai.
Oh, so it was Tiger. Yeah, I've watched their videos. It's pretty intense.
What part of Thailand is it?
It's in Phuket.
Oh, we've been there.
We were there, yeah.
Oh, okay. Have you guys been by Tiger?
No.
No, there's no business for me there.
We were just having fun.
Yeah. We're fishing and drinking.
That's awesome.
We're doing unproductive things.
Yeah.
But I basically looked at that trip like, all right, I need to get my shit in gear. I need to figure this out. And so I started training pretty.
Was it like inspirational, or why did you think that after
I
that
think
trip?
it gave me a goal. Like, I was like, I want to go on this trip at least knowing more than like I know now.
Yeah.
And going into it, like, when I do things, I like to set goals for myself, and working towards those is what kind of pushes me.
Yeah.
So I trained my ass off, and I went to Thailand for my first time, and I had the most amazing experience of my life. Like, it completely changed the way I looked at martial arts, and I realized how passionate I was about it. And I think growing up, I didn't appreciate it as much as I started to, and it was kind of like this weird, like, universal, like, click, like, oh, it's been in my life for so long, but now I finally appreciate it, and like, it's something I realized, like, I want this in my life forever. Mm-hmm. And so training out there, it was really intense. It's like nothing I've ever done before. It's about 99 degrees. It's an outdoor space. So not only is it humid and you're sweating, but it's outdoors. So it's just like hot. You're hot like all the time.
Right.
Yeah. But it was cool. It made me really excited to come back to the States and just learn so much more. And that's kind of where everything else came along. Like, I kept training at Elite. Eventually I started teaching classes there, and then it was like a year and a half before I stopped working there. It was when Brian approached a group of us and asked if we wanted to test for our black belt in Krav Maga. And so there was a group of 6 of us. And
what is Krav Maga essentially?
So Krav Maga, what we would say at Elite, was our most realistic street self-defense system. So the Israeli army uses it as their system for self-defense. Right. But what my old boss did is he created his own system where he felt like we could fill in some holes. So it's not traditional Krav Maga, but it was highly influenced with Muay Thai and MMA. So again, like I said, what the idea was that he filled these gaps in the system that was already created to make it more of a street fighting self-defense.
Is Krav Maga where you're using, you're learning how to disarm people that are coming at you and also using weapons?
Yes.
So like sticks, knives, stuff like that.
Yes, that's correct. So again, like the most realistic street self-defense. That's how we would promote it to people because that's what clicks and connects.
Yeah.
And so that's what that was, and they gave us a year in advance to prepare for it because of the strenuous part and like the mental capacity that it takes to take that test. Because we took
whole year.
We took the instructor test, which is a 3-day test, and if you decided to do a student test, it's not as long. It's about a day long. Mm-hmm. But all of us chose to do the instructor test, so it was a little bit longer. But we got to work together as a team, so the 6 of us, and kind of learn a lot about each other and figure out how we were going to pass. It was a journey for
That's
sure.
great, yeah.
Describe it. Wow. What's the start like? Is there people yelling at you, or like
So,
what happens those 3 days?
We didn't really know what to expect. It's kind of a little sacred thing that anyone that's taken the test, there's things that we aren't supposed to share because it's just a part of it.
Right. We completely understand that, but share it all right here, right now.
Got you. I can give you guys a little teaser. I can give you the highlight reel. But going into it, something that actually, for at least myself, that I never really thought about beforehand was about 2 weeks before the test, my old boss sat us all down and he talked about fears. And this kind of it really changed my view on how I looked at everything in life. He asked us what our fears were. So like off the top of your head. And I think I said, like, I was the first one to go, and I was like, losing my family and, like, losing my loved ones or not being there for my loved ones. And, like, we kept going around, and it was, like, not being good enough, not being able to provide, like, not being successful. Like, just, like, stating the obvious, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's like, all right, cool. Now figure out why you have that fear. And I was like, huh?
Yeah.
What do you mean? That doesn't make any sense. Like, that's my fear. He's like, no, that's connected to something. Like, why? And I was like, okay, so we sat for a second, and I was like, oh, shit, like, I have a lot of problems. Like, there's a lot of shit in my brain I probably don't allow myself to connect to that maybe challenged me growing up as, like, who I am now. And it just triggered this, like, process of thinking and, like, connecting a lot of things, like, to see how I respond to things. And that question has literally stuck with me, I think, until today. Like, I ask myself all the time why I feel a certain way towards things because of fear and like how it attaches to things. And that kind of helped me push through the test, which was essentially 64 hours of extremely intense endurance.
So like a 6-minute EMOM kind of thing, or a little
6-minute EMOM, like for 64 hours.
You gotta do it.
I don't think you have video footage of this.
Yeah, you don't have video footage of it. I do.
No, you don't.
I have it. I just looked at it.
No, I crushed it.
You gotta do this.
I already did it.
We're gonna do it again.
You gotta do the whole class. But continue, Ivana. So what do you mean, like physically crazy endurance? Is it literally like that for 64 hours?
Everyone's test is different.
Yeah.
I think that we proved ourselves to be pretty active and in shape. Like, for about 6 months, we would, every Monday at 6 a.m., we would grab our packs, because we had to carry packs with us the whole time that weighed about 50 to 60 pounds, and we'd train with them. We'd run from Elite down to the beach. We'd run to Avenue C. We'd do the stairs, and every week we added a set of stairs. So I think by the end of it, we were at like a ridiculous amount. I think we were like at 12 or 14 sets of stairs with our packs on. Jesus. Then we would run down to Avenue I, drop our packs, and jump in the water. Yeah. So we did that for Mondays in rows, and it was ridiculous. Like
it's like buds training.
Except
you're going to SEAL school.
The first time that we did it, I was a pansy, and I wore a wetsuit the first time we did it, not realizing that we were doing a full workout before we jumped in the ocean. So I did my full workout in the wetsuit. Yeah. And FYI, if anyone ever does a workout, don't do it in your wetsuit, because it's like resistance training.
Yeah. So hot, right?
Like, I was dying. Yeah, when I got in the water, I was like, oh, this is cool.
Thank God. Yeah.
But it was terrible before that. So yeah, preparing for the test was pretty intense. There was just a lot of running, a lot of time tasks that we didn't accomplish, so there was always punishment. In some way that was in a physical way. Like I think I probably did over like 600 squats that weekend. Like that's what I mean. Like they were just minuscule like things that were just so long. We obviously went through all techniques as well, but definitely the endurance part was the hardest. I slept for roughly like 30 minutes that weekend.
Jeez.
Like I have video of me. I can also send it to
So
you
they
guys.
keep
That
you
would be
guys
great.
there
Yeah.
for the whole train?
Yeah.
Jesus
And
Christ.
we had opportunity to sleep, but there was the time frame that we had to sleep. My dumbass wasn't thinking, and I laid next to the mirror or the window by PCH, and it was fucking freezing. Like I was just like, is everyone sleeping? And I didn't bring a blanket, so I was just sitting there dying. And I finally I snuck my way. I walked around the gym, and I randomly found a space heater at the front desk.
Oh shit.
And I laid my head down, and I laid there for 30 minutes. And then I got up, and everyone was moving and grooving, like getting our stuff ready to go. And I was like, fuck,
Yeah.
that was my sleep time. But I have videos of myself. I would say, I think it's like Saturday night, and I'm delusional. Like, I'm slapping myself in the face. I'm
Send
like,
it. I'll play
just
it in the
like,
podcast.
ugh.
I'll play it right now.
Yeah, here you go.
Yeah. If you want to see me looking delusional as shit, here it is.
Up and over, snatch, snatch, stand, everything's the same. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
No.
No, sir.
But yeah, it was really challenging. I'm almost positive I broke one of my toes during the test, so that was a challenge. Also, my black belt test was the weekend before the pandemic, or the weekend the pandemic started.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
So-
So this was recent.
Yeah, this happened in
recent. I
last
remember
March.
when she was doing it, everybody's like, they're doing their training. I'm like, well, what's that? And closing the whole thing down for the weekend. I was like, oh man, that sounds pretty intense.
Yeah, and so we didn't have any contact with anyone, like, so we weren't allowed to talk to anyone, and we kept saying, like, I think that's when everyone was like, oh, the world's gonna close, and we're like, the world's gonna close, and that weekend we're like, isn't it gonna be funny if we come out of this, and like, the world's closed, and then we came out of it, and we're like, what the fuck happened? So it was pretty interesting not to know what was going on, and just kind of blacking out for a couple days, but it was awesome. Like, I think my favorite part of the whole test which was pretty challenging, but it made me realize how strong a swimmer I was.
Wow, that's really cool.
We had to go in the ocean, and that weekend it was raining, it was windy, so the ocean was pretty choppy.
And it wasn't warm, right? You were in right before spring even started.
Yeah, it was freezing. We jumped in the ocean. We're in the middle of the ocean, and we had to swim. And one of my teammates wasn't that great of a swimmer, so we had to take turns pulling him. So like I had a band around my waist, and he was holding something, and we swimming and pulling, but the wind was pretty strong, and we weren't really moving. Like,
That
we
would
were
be
just
us for sure.
we
You
were
would have
just-
to pull us. Ooh.
I'm a strong swimmer.
Oh, at least I sink, dude. I don't swim.
You don't
well.
swim?
No, I just go down. I tried to become a
The
good
beach
swimmer.
is my natural element. Like, we were doing the email
I'm
at the
just
beach
saying.
yesterday.
So you're telling me that you're a fisher that doesn't swim?
Alright, I'm gonna blow your mind here. Most of the fish we catch, we don't even eat. One. Two, I do not want to go in the ocean ever because...
Okay, I'm the same way though too, because I know what's out there.
yeah,
I've seen it.
dude, we were in... This ruined my life. We were in Cabo.
Oh,
or no, we were
dude.
in... Where were we?
We were in Palmas de
Palmas
Cortez,
de
Los
Cortez.
Barriles. It's like an hour and a half north of Cabo.
Okay.
And we're out there. Brian Shaw from the LA Lakers was out there with his family. My dad was taking him back to the airport.
Okay.
So we're been assigned a task by my dad to go down and do some snorkeling.
Kids, by the way.
Yeah, I'm
I
12.
was like... Yeah.
I'm 12, and you're a little younger.
Yeah, 4 years younger.
So we go out with our
What's the math?
we go out with our Mexican captains. They take us out,
Okay.
and really good guys, Jose and Jose. They take us out to go to this reef, and we're supposed to snorkel, gather clams, mussel, lobster for a big fish fry we're gonna have back at the hotel that night.
Okay.
So we're out there doing it. Jose's in the water with him because he was a little younger. I'm kind of by myself swimming around. My buddy Luke's on the boat, And then Jose, the bigger, heavier captain, who's not really like, he's never really up and excited or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't said a word the whole trip.
Yeah,
Okay.
he doesn't talk.
We've been with him for 4 days. He just sits in and he's
just like,
So-
I'm driving.
What I remember is diving down, and I'm coming up, and I got these oysters and clams, all this cool stuff for the fish fry. I come up, and I just see, I look at Jose, I'm about 200 yards off the stern of the boat. I see Jose going like this, tiburon, tiburon, and I go, fuck, that means shark. And I go, shit, I'm
And
just
he's
gonna...
freaked out. This guy who hasn't said anything.
Yeah, and he's jumping, waving, he's 400 pounds, waving at us, and I'm going, oh shit, I better go back to the boat. So I just start kicking, and I have these things in my hands. The next thing I see is a giant black dorsal fin go up between me and the boat like that, right in front of me. I go, I'm fucked. There's no way I'm making it.
Yeah, I was far back.
He
and
was
I just
way
see this
closer.
giant black fin behind him. I was like, he's getting eaten for sure. Like, there's
Yeah,
no way.
and so, but in the middle of all this, he freezes. He's just
I
stopped
can't even
swimming.
move.
He can't move. So the deckhand grabs him and starts like rescue swimming him to the beach.
Yeah, your fears question, I have a perfect example and answer to why I won't go in the ocean. It's that.
Yeah. So I end up getting close to the boat, and I go, fuck, I'm looking. I got a mask on. I'm going to look. And I look into the water, and it's worse than a shark. It's a mother orca with its baby.
Oh my god.
And I'm going, this is F. And I swear to God, I was swimming so hard, I had a weight coming off me like I was a boat. And I got to the boat, and I still had the clams. I threw them up into the boat, and I just jumped out of the water as fast as I could.
Yeah, I was swimming against current, but the other Jose,
You weren't
he
swimming.
was like, I was frozen.
You're getting pulled.
I was frozen to his arms, shaking. And, shut up, Philip. Frozen to this guy, and he's like, there's a shark. And I was like, what? He's like, we can either go to the boat or the beach. And I was like, the beach. Let's go to the beach. And he's like, oh, it's only a killer whale. We're okay. I was like, only a killer whale? Like, what the hell? Yeah,
Like he has killer in his name.
I know, that's
It's not like,
going the
hey,
other
there's
way.
the smiley whale.
Well, hey, but with killer whales, there's not one recorded death by a killer whale in the wild.
Wow.
All of them happen in captivity.
But yeah, that's my fear.
Well, there's a whole, like, I've watched documentaries and stuff on it, and like orcas, chimpanzees, and humans are the only animals on this planet that can look at itself in a mirror and understand that's its reflection. That's what they're looking at. So they relate all the stuff that's going on with the killer whales to like inmates with life sentences, how they kind of start to psychologically deteriorate, and that's what's happening to the killer whales in captivity. That's why they're banning doing that, because they're too intelligent, they're too smart.
Wow.
Yeah, but back to Elite. There's our fear story. I loved going to Elite. I had a lot of time. I learned a lot, and one time I was at Elite, and I would take basic kickboxing, and I didn't know anything. And this guy came out, and he was a younger kid. He was like, "Does anybody want to take MMA, or is this it for MMA?" I was like, "Oh, I'm down to do that. That'd be sweet." So I skipped kickboxing and walked into an advanced MMA class. I didn't know, had no idea, but it was mostly kids, and we were like learning. I was like, Jesus Christ, like how do you learn? It was like so many concepts going on and so many movements, and he's like, the instructor was really good. He's like, then you do this, and then I'm like, oh my god, like, MMA is so hard. And I come out, and Ivana's like, just come out of there. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, you can't be in there. I was like,
He always ends up in situations like that, where he's supposed to be doing something, but he ends up in like the elite thing, and he's like, that was really hard. I was like, yeah, no shit. It's like for the best people in the world.
I'm like, oh my god, this is not for anybody. But Elite was a lot of fun. It was fun working out with you too.
Yeah.
She got crazy.
I did a couple workouts at Elite.
I've held the pads for her, and her kicks are insane.
Yeah, he was trying to get you to kick me.
I know.
I know, I had sympathy.
I wasn't gonna do it.
Philip, I'm trying to put Philip through as much hell as I can.
Yeah, but that's
we
what.
can do a workout though. I could put you through a little like
No,
pad
no,
workout.
I'm good, thank
You
you.
know what'd be
Sweet. I
fun?
should've brought
It's
pads.
if you guys did it together and then you could kick each other.
That sounds like a lot of
I
fun.
don't think Philip could kick that high. I can't kick that high, but I know you can't.
I can kick higher than you. You're 4'5".
Well,
Prove it. Prove it.
prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't want any part of
You want to
this.
karate in the garage?
I don't want any part of this.
Do a class. So after Elite, after you got your black belt, you moved to the Blueprint, right?
Yeah, so there was just a lot of things that happened with the closures.
Yeah.
And actually the way I found Blueprint was prepping for my black belt test. So I decided that I wanted to supplement my training in a different way. I hardly lift weights ever. My training was strictly martial arts.
Mhm.
So pretty much all body weight things. So literally my body weight and moving other body weight.
Yeah.
Like that was it. I think for a while I did some programs with my old coworkers, my friends, Sean and Colleen. They would have me deadlift every now and then.
Yeah.
But other than that, that was the most weight that I think I've ever moved. And so then I got to Blueprint, and it was like this brand new playground for me, and I love new things. So I was just like, whoa, what are all these classes and all these things I can do? So I pretty much just got hooked instantly. The first class I ever took there was a cardio kickboxing class. They used to have a jazz naps class there, and that was the first class I took, and right after that class I was hooked. I joined immediately before even trying their regular classes, which is their cardio and their strength classes. And it was awesome. It's been a ride since. I left Elite, I think it was around April, May-ish time during like the whole pandemic closure. I just had an opportunity to start working at Blueprint, and I decided to take that route. I had been working at Elite for 6 years. It was actually my 6-year anniversary the weekend of my black belt test. So it was kind of like a little chapter that was closed, which was awesome. I learned so much from that place, and the amount of skills that I took away, not only martial arts, but through business and in life.
That's you, dude.
I know, it was totally me.
Through business and in life was something I don't regret at all. It was amazing. But starting at Blueprint around, it was like May, beginning of June, that I started working there, was one of the best things that's ever happened to me. It's been so much fun. I've been able to be really creative there and meet a lot of new people that have made pretty profound impacts on my life thus far. And it's just been really fun to be able to open up the door for new experiences and people to learn what I know, and I get to teach them. It's just because it's off the spectrum of what they normally teach.
Yeah.
So me bringing in a different aspect of martial arts is fun, and it's cool to see people enjoy it and try it out and fall in love with it a little bit more like I do.
Yeah, well, I love it, obviously. I remember looking up, because Elite had closed. Everything was closed. LA Fitness is closed. I'm like, dude, I gotta go to the gym. And I saw that you were working out somehow. And I was like, how the hell is Ivana working out right now? And then she was working out at the Blueprint. And then I found out you were a trainer, and my thought process was like, oh, she's doing workouts that are anything like Elite. I'm in. Like, let's do that. Then I got Kaylin to go, my girlfriend. And then I got Nick and Carolyn, my little sister and her boyfriend. And now I got Conrad in there. He's doing personal training with a Nair.
Yes.
And I finally got Filler in.
Yep. I went once and I'm good to go.
One imam and I'm done.
One and done. Scared him away quick. But yeah, the Blueprint's been awesome. There's some things that I don't like about the Blueprint, and they're all have to do with me. It's nothing the Blueprint does. But like, I'm like you when I'm working out there doing I can't speak. I can't even talk, so like Ivana will come up like, hey, what's up, actually? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I feel like an idiot. Like I can't even say a word.
Here's what
trainers.
do most of the people that go in there, are they as big as we are? Like,
And there's all walks of life there.
Yeah,
literally, like every single type of people.
What's cool about the clientele there is you'll be doing their workout next to a mom, next to some ripped guy.
I
Everybody's
imagine,
working hard, and it's really inspirational. You know, I like that a lot.
I just imagine, because I'm going, I can't let that fucking clock go to a minute, and I didn't finish my thing, because then I got to do it all over again. I need a
that
break.
happens to me a lot.
But I'm like,
right back into it.
I'm going, this is not someone that's 265. They're not supposed to be doing this shit. It's not physically possible.
I think it's good for bigger guys.
Possible.
Yeah, I think it's really good for bigger guys.
I think it's good for a guy at my height who weighs 230 and doesn't eat 4 meals of McDonald's a day.
Yeah, well, when you do that, Imam, you start thinking like, okay, no more smoking.
No,
okay,
I needed
no
a
more,
McFlurry.
You know?
Immediately.
So you'll adapt to the workout.
Yeah.
I
think
needed a
like, the more
McFlurry.
you implement those types of workouts into your lifestyle, you slowly
No,
want to change habits, right? Like
Yeah.
it makes you want to change because you're like, oh shit, well I want to do that better. Like,
Yeah.
how am I going to change the habits that I have in my daily routine to make myself better in that way?
Yeah, I definitely, I'm screwing around a lot, but no, I can definitely see that just changing some habits. Like, I mean, I'm never going to have another cigarette. fuck that. That was the worst thing
Yeah,
I've
when
ever...
you think about it, we'll take you back.
Yeah. No. That's enough for me to not do it. I've never felt like that in my life, where my lungs were burning and I was hacking up a lung in my truck.
That's
That was
amazing.
terrible.
I know, I was filming it. It was so funny. I'm so happy I found that video. It's
I was so sad when you told me you didn't have
I
it
was-
I think
anymore.
you're still screwing around.
no, I have it 100%. It's on. I'll show it to
If you don't have it,
it's really.
I look like LeBron James yesterday. If you do have it, I'm sorry.
I watched a little clip and I'm like, Philip, jump! You're like, it's not a choice.
Dude, I couldn't. It's like, I think it was just like if you told me to do 5 box jumps a minute, no problem. I'll give you my 5. I'm gonna sit there for 45 seconds. But it's everything that's coupled with it that just. I felt like everything was working against me.
I'm gonna be honest.
Go ahead.
Pat prepped me and said that I needed to destroy.
I know he did.
So
I knew.
I didn't make that wasn't like a beginner level. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like an entry level. Like, hey, let me see what
That's
you
because
can
like
do.
after that I was like, I go. Everybody does this in here.
Well, yeah, they do.
But definitely, like, I wouldn't start you with
That's
something
what
like
I
that.
remember asking. I go, is there a beginning course here or something?
Philip after, he's like, I'm so happy it was just that.
Oh, dude,
It's like,
I thought I had an
now.
hour of that, and I was like, I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'm not making it.
No,
through
I
this.
told Pat, I was like, oh, we'll do something fun and it'll be really hard. But
Yeah.
I definitely, if you were a brand new
Hey,
person
make it a
coming
little
in there,
easier.
I would never just be like, all right, let's fucking do an EMOM. Like,
That makes
let's
me wanna go
dive
back.
really quick.
Yeah.
Just knowing that wasn't the
You
beginners,
did it.
I felt like such a fat sack of shit. Like I thought that was the beginning thing that you're supposed to do.
It's such easy. It looks like simple movements too, so it makes you even look worse because you
No.
just jump on this box.
Yeah, it looked like I was 90 years old just stepping up onto a box.
I know, it did.
This was all planned.
Another thing that I don't like about the blueprint is that when I do like a press, my gut comes out.
Well, I already told you,
You know,
why.
but I feel like that's not the blueprint's fault.
Yeah, I know it's not. It's
But you
my
know what he
fault.
tried telling me? I go, dude, because he was like, "Why didn't it happen to you? I go, your gut's more pronounced."
Yeah, he says that.
And he goes, "There's
Let's take
there's
our
no
shirts
way.
off right now.
There's no way, Patrick." But this is
No,
what
not on the podcast.
No,
I was saying that
we're not gonna.
I just looked at our clientele. They're 94% men. So probably should keep the shirts on all the time.
But we did this at home, and it was my mom and my little sister that was the judge. Their exact phrasing was, "You guys are the same right here, but you have a little more of a carryover your belt line.
It was disappointing.
You have a bigger gut.
I think I do. Yeah, I do.
It's just more pronounced. It's
So
not
I
saying
think
you're
what happens
fatter."
is when I put my arms in the air, there's so much pressure on my t-shirt, and I already wear like an extra large, it just floops up or like, you know.
Well, I think it's just
And I don't know if like everybody's
Do you think
looking
you
at
need
me.
to get like a bigger shirt?
I would.
length.
I'm not even
you
like
get a longer shirt.
Well, what size is
Big
that?
and tall.
I get the tall shirts.
I'm opposite of both of those.
But then
yeah,
maybe
but
you
your
just need to
gut
get
makes
big
you.
and tall.
You're 5'8", but your gut makes you 6'3".
I'm like 5'8". I think I'm like usually close to 240. So I'm heavy.
Fucking meatball.
I know. Philip told me I'm the fattest I've ever been in my entire life.
I would not say
He
that.
looks like he is. Like, okay, he's really athletic, but if you just looked at him, you're like, oh, there's a fat
Yeah,
fuck.
I think like I was squatting 3 plates the other day, and in there, Conrad's trainer was watching, and like Kaylin came up and said everybody was clapping like you squat, and I looked at him there, I go, you thought I was fat, didn't you? He just started laughing. But yeah, it's been so much fun working out because I learned so much just going to the blueprint. You know, it's always different, always new movements. Like we did like a single leg burpee the other day. I was like, what the hell? That was like crazy.
What the fuck is that?
You do a burpee with one leg.
Ugh.
So
I
that was-
barely do it with two.
I know. But yeah, that's been super fun. And it seems like your crew at the Blueprint is always striving to get better.
Yeah.
Personally, the gym, like they're always doing murals. And I saw you guys are trying to do a coffee shop, and that's
Yeah.
really cool.
I think there's just always things in the work. We're always trying to grow.
Yeah.
Not only the business, but our community. We're trying to make it all on the map like we want everyone to come to Blueprint.
Yeah.
It's definitely a very family-oriented place. Like, everyone feels like family there.
Mhm.
It's a good feeling when you walk in. You're like, oh, they're so-and-so and so-and-so, like you said, all walks of life.
That's
are
dope.
there. So it's a good feeling. It's a happy place.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of why, like, I was stoked to say, like, yeah, this is my new home. Like, this is the place where I get to also teach and help people grow. Because I think I always learn from the individuals that I get to coach or I'm teaching things to. Like, I'm always gaining something as well, knowledge-wise or just in life.
Mm-hmm. So what do you usually do at the Blueprint? Like, what's your responsibilities? You have one-on-ones, you have...
Yeah, so I do privates there
Mm-hmm.
with my boxing. I'm actually starting my 4-week boxing program this coming week.
Sweet.
So it's going to be twice a week. I have 10 girls doing it, and it's going to be for 4 weeks. So there's 8 sessions total. It's going to be kind of like what you would know as a little bit like an extreme class. It's
Yeah.
going to be a little cardio driven, a little bit of technique, so a happy balance of both. But I've also co-coached classes there. I just actually coached my first class there today, leading it. I programmed it for Weekend Warriors today, which was a lot of fun. And then I also work in our sales, and I just recently started designing our clothes. So like you saw
Oh, wow.
the RFF shirt that we
Yeah.
just put out. I drew that, the
Yeah.
skull.
I see a lot of LA, Dodgers, Kobe
We just did
inspired
those.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that Kobe girl was badass.
Yeah,
If
it's
you guys
awesome.
haven't seen it's in the video. I'm not a big basketball guy, but I was a big fan of Kobe, and it was tragic. It touched. I was like, oh, that's bitching.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite pieces there. Jessica Hua, who's one of our members, painted that. It's freaking beautiful. But yeah, I'm just pretty much, I like being there all the time too.
Yeah.
I work out there and it's fun. I'm really stoked to have like the team that I'm a part of.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So they do some monthly things too. Like there's this guy Dave. We call him BP Dave in my family, just because you have the little tag name.
Oh, like
And it sounds
BPLA.
like kind of like a beer
Beer
pong.
pong.
Yeah. So BP Dave did No Sugar November.
Ugh.
The whole month. That's amazing. How could you? I was like,
What do you eat?
I don't know. I don't know. It's half my diet. But they have stuff like that. And this month you have February For You, which I know nothing about, but I signed up for.
Yeah.
Does anybody know anything about it? Or
Yeah.
are you guys kind of revealing stuff?
So it starts tomorrow. We're sending out messages today to all the members. We are putting everyone in accountability groups. So Feb for You, the idea is to just focus on yourself. Like we take so much time for other people and doing other things. So the idea is to take this month to just focus on you. And the highlights are your fitness, family, feels, and fun. And I'm all about the feels. So
That's cool.
we're just diving deep into that, holding each other accountable. We're going to give everyone lists of things to write their goals on. And then we want to try to get everyone to get at least 21 days of movement. And there's going to be some prizes for people that are the most accountable. But it should be a fun time. It's a good way to just bring the community together, especially during a time where I feel like a lot of people are still disconnected, to just bring up into groups and have them push through some goals starting the new year, you know?
That's going to be fun. I can't wait to do it. I don't know who my accountability person will be, but they're going to be disappointed.
I'm
I'm
gonna be
not
on
winning
your
any
ass for that.
prizes. So on the subject of health and fitness and physical fitness, do you do anything else besides physical fitness for health, like mental fitness or anything like that? Because health it's kind of like a broad category. There's
Right.
a lot of things you can work on, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I think, to be honest, like this past year during the time where the pandemic happened, all the time that we took just on our own and by ourselves was a time for me to be more mindful and aware of my headspace.
Yeah.
I think that I was just living to live for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of made me take a step back and refocus on how I really wanted to live my life. I was kind of living for other people and just trying to be there or be too many things for too many people versus just being things for myself. So I would say mentally, I've learned to take a step back and take more time for myself. It's not necessarily an actual, I would say like a practice, like I'm not going to therapy or anything like that, but just being more aware
Mm-hmm.
of what I'm allowing in my life and what I'm giving energy to.
So what was the big change that caused that? It was during the pandemic you kind of slowed down, and what are some examples of stuff you would do and now you don't do, or you
I
do?
guess learning how to say no to things
Yeah.
and not feeling bad about it.
Yeah.
My whole life I grew up being a yes man, anything anyone needed, drop everything I was doing for anyone.
Oh, you did this podcast, so
Yeah, but this was cool.
See, I'm still in that phase. I'm a yes man.
yeah, I know you are. You do a lot for a lot.
Terrible
of people.
at it. I can't say
super
no.
good at saying no.
He
I
says
just
no,
feel
but he
like-
does mainly to me. 95% of his no's go to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are supposed to go to you.
No, but I really am a yes man.
I know,
Yeah,
and
you
it's
know.
a really good quality you have. It's really
Good or bad?
Good.
No,
Always.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
It's-
yeah.
I think it's understanding where you draw the line.
Exactly.
Because I still say yes to so many things, but being mindful if it's going to take too much of my energy or my space or my time,
Yeah.
where I'm prioritizing that.
Right.
That's a big thing that I've learned is
Mhm.
prioritizing the actual important things and knowing how to let go of certain things, because I think that, at least for me, I would attach myself to literally everything, to friends in my life, relationships, to the food I'm eating, to the places I'm going. I had attachments to everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And learning how to detach from that and understanding that I need to let go of the control and become more fluid and flow, which was I gave myself a word of the year last year, and that was fluidity. And it kept me so grounded, just reminding myself that was my word. I need to flow through things. I need to let things go. I need to let go of force and let go of control. And it kept me so grounded during a time where I felt like everyone was in panic. I was definitely more on the things are gonna be okay. Just keep focusing on myself. Block out all the other bullshit. There's so much BS going on all over the world, the news, everything, and I just realized the only thing that I had control of is what I was doing in that moment. There were so many things going on and people putting so much of their energy and time into things that they had no control over, and they're just upset and sad, and I realized I could be upset or sad and have empathy towards something, but also be mindful that I have zero control of it, so I need to let it go. I couldn't let it ruin my day.
Yeah.
Seeing something, I'll give a good example that's terrible. There was that huge sex trafficking thing that was going on that I would be fuck, this is absolutely terrible. What am I gonna, how am I supposed to do, help? What am I supposed to do? And in my brain, I'm I physically can't do anything.
Right.
And if I just sit here and be sad about it, I'm probably sad about something else, to be honest. And I'm
something else is eating at you.
Something else is eating at me, and I'm allowing this thing that I have zero control over to take over that space. And instead, I need to take a step back, understand why I'm sad or why I'm upset about it, and then focus on that and sit in that shit. It sucks.
Yeah.
But sitting in the stuff that makes you uncomfortable is, I feel what helps you grow and get past it.
Yeah, that was some of the best advice I've heard this year is if there's something bad you did and you don't want to think about it, do think about it and embrace it and learn from it. And it's hard to do, but I don't know, you can definitely learn from those moments, and whatever that thing was, don't do it again. You know, it reminds you I learned.
It's done. You're not having that regret and holding on to it. And that's kind of where the Blueprint comes in for me, because that's a community that I do have sort of some control and impact on, right? That's starting small, but in the end could be so big for someone, right? And that's a space where I feel I can provide impact. I can be there for people. Unfortunately, on the wide spectrum, I can't solve everyone's problems or the world's problems, but I can start small.
Right.
And I can start with myself, and me focusing on myself and the things that I need to work on will help me better serve others and be there for other people.
Yeah.
Because if I don't give myself that same time, I'm just going to be a shit show for other people.
Yeah.
That's unfair, because then I
Right.
just start projecting everything onto everyone.
Right. Robin Williams, I'm going to butcher this quote, but he said, if I can make a few people laugh, I could die a happy man. It doesn't matter if you change the masses, it just matters if you change a couple people's lives while you're here.
Maybe
That's
one day you'll make a couple people laugh.
Oh, that one, I just laughed.
I didn't make that
Thank you. But yeah, I don't know. What were we just talking about? I forgot.
You ruined it with that dumb
I know, it
joke.
was such a good joke that I just took credit. Lost all train of thought.
Are we gonna try these things on the show?
Oh,
Oh yeah, you're vegan, right? These are vegan.
yeah.
So, but
So most hunters and
What-
fishermen are vegan, so they'll be able to.
now let's
Relate
talk to the audience here.
Okay.
What?
You're not one of those vegans,
I'm not.
What are those?
I'm
vegans?
also don't like. I would say that I eat plant based.
right? But
So-
what I'm saying is that she's not against anyone hunting or fishing.
You're
She
not?
totally
No.
understands it.
I think it's to each their own. Like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna sit here and say like fuck you guys.
Yeah. Well,
But-
my ex-girlfriend was vegan too, so I probably.
That's
didn't
why
work
you
out.
come to us.
But
Oh yeah, the reason.
I've just learned that like if someone wants to try it out or wants to feel
Yeah.
a certain way, like do it. I'm gonna be honest with the reason why I first tried to be vegan.
What?
What is it? What is it?
I don't know. I just saw that it said.
You
it
just
said-
brought something randomly?
Yeah, I've never had these
I'm
before.
pretty good.
Are
You
they
like
good?
Yeah, it's good. I'm just scared.
It's dirt. That's the black part.
I actually,
It's
black
dirt
tar
wrapped
here.
in.
I'm good with dirt. It's those plants you guys like.
Vegetables.
I like to, and I make fun of myself too. Like I take it lighthearted. Like I'll like walk
Yeah.
around and be like, ah, look at that grass looking good for my lunch.
I think
It's-
hunters and fishermen actually have a lot in common with vegans.
Mhm.
Really, when it comes to conservation and helping the environment, we are out there every day,
Yeah.
and we see how.
You gotta understand that a deer hunter knows so much more about that deer than anyone on PETA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They know exactly what that deer's doing any time of the year. They know exactly what they're there for, but they also
what their
understand.
needs and likes are.
Yeah, and they also understand a lot of the diseases that are going on in that herd and all that stuff. So they're helping thin that problem. They're cultivating those animals.
It'd be
So-
good for them to work together, but that probably will never happen.
No.
I think that like if you're gonna like hunt your own food and eat it,
And it takes so much knowledge to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, like most hunters, they understand what they're going after to such an extreme extent that no one's going to be able to relate to how they know that animal.
and I think my choice is just not to eat animals.
Yeah.
I just choose not to. I like in my eyes, it's like I like the animals. I'm just not gonna eat them.
Right.
Yeah,
Like, it's not-
everybody should be fine with that.
Yeah,
too.
it's like, well-
Hunters shouldn't be like, well, it's vegan. You know?
Right.
And that's the stereotype that I typically like. Oh,
Yeah.
they're vegan.
That's why I said you're not one of those.
I'm just like, no, like this is just how I decided I wanted to live
Mm-hmm.
my life, and I'm okay with like it's been this year will be 4 years.
Yeah, I remember when I went to Elite, she was like, yeah, everybody's vegan here. I was like, God, you should have told me before I signed up.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why I decided to try it out at first was because I wanted to cut weight for a jiu-jitsu competition, and I wanted to do it in a healthy way. I'm surrounded by so many fighters and people that were always training.
Yeah,
They did it in such unhealthy ways. I was like, I don't want to do that.
I
Like,
did that.
yeah, like, and I don't want
He
to.
did a legit cut,
Weight cut. We were having a fat
and
competition.
he fucking cheated.
No! Dude!
I saw him.
I was like, are we
5
doing-
days before the weigh-in, and I'm like, that's the fattest I've ever seen him. I got him because I was down like 14 pounds. I was like, he's fatter than shit. I'm good.
Yeah.
He did a UFC fighter's weight cut
I just looked it up how to do it. I had to
in
drink.
2 days.
Yeah. I did like a
That's
3.
so unhealthy.
I'm so competitive. I get crazy competitive. But I had to drink like 3 gallons of water, like 3 days out, and then 2 gallons of water, and then you just don't eat or drink anything, and you sweat. And I
30
did-
pounds.
I lost so much weight.
2
Like,
days.
Crazy. Well, I had lost like 10 and then like a 20-pound weight cut. I didn't know it was possible.
Yeah,
Because
it
I
is.
did it the whole month, and I lost 14 pounds in that month.
He
I was
did
like,
really good.
I got this shit.
Like, eat him by like 10 pounds.
They're- it's unhealthy. Like I've seen like my friends like putting IVs in themselves just to
Mhm.
get them like
Jeez.
back to life after their weigh-ins, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. And mine's
Yeah.
like I'm doing jiu-jitsu, like it's no gi, so my weight class is 146. Like I walk around right now probably like 142, and I wanted to be at a place where I just didn't have to cut weight. So I was like, I'm gonna try this vegan thing and see how it goes. And I
Yeah.
cut weight so easily, and I was like, this
That's
isn't
crazy.
as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I was like, I'm gonna keep doing it,
Yeah.
and then it just never stopped. And weight cuts were pretty simple for me since then because I kept competing.
Mm.
But yeah, that's kind of like how it all started.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of like new, what's it called? Like discoveries coming out about plant-based diets where, like, I mean, I was even reading something on gladiators being mainly on a plant-based diet. That's all they were eating. But there's a lot of protein you can get from some plants. I believe cauliflower is a high in protein, same with broccoli.
Is there anything you need to watch being on a vegan diet? Is there any, like, recommendations you would have for someone going vegan?
I would say I'm not necessarily, like, the advocate of guru. Like, I'm going to be honest, I eat a lot of pasta. That's my favorite food. But I work out a ton, so my carb intake is pretty high. Mm-hmm. But I do supplement, like, still getting protein with protein shakes, meat alternatives, a lot of vegetables.
What are you looking at?
Because you said pasta, and I heard his stomach.
I know, I made a noise.
I heard his stomach just like roll over.
I feel it. I want some pasta right now too.
Sounds good.
But I, like, on average, if I'm coaching on, like, Tuesday mornings, I burn roughly, like, over 2,000 calories by 10:30 in the morning.
Jeez.
So I, like, tell myself, I'm like, I can probably eat some pasta. Like, I'm not upset about it.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's different for everyone. Like, there's certain things that, like, fruits that will make me feel so bloated and feel terrible. Mm-hmm. And then there's certain foods that other people are like, what the fuck? Like, how are you eating so much of that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think it's just, like, my natural, like, how my body takes everything. So I would always say it's an experiment for everyone.
Yeah.
But there's not necessarily a specific way to go. Mm-hmm. There are certain ways to start, and it's, I think, easier said than done. But everyone finds their own way. Like, my mom just started going plant-based, like, a couple months ago. And it took her a little while to find a groove and find out how she likes things. And she does certain things different than me, but generally, like, we're doing the same thing.
Yeah,
right?
I was vegan for a month in college while I was playing rugby, and I didn't lose any strength. I felt good.
And that's what
it's good.
I've never gone vegan.
I know.
And I think a lot because I'm not like, hey, this is my diet. Like, to everyone,
right.
No one knows, and people are typically shocked when they're like, you do all the things you do, and that's your diet. I'm like, yeah. Like, I don't know. I still think, as a woman, I think I'm pretty strong, and I'm pretty athletic, so I wouldn't say my diet has done any damage to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's a trainer there named Sophie, or Soph is what everybody calls her. And she did my eval when I first went in. You, like, hold these things, and it tells you how fat you are. And it's, what is it called again?
The in-body scan.
Yeah, I told Galen it's going to be a guy behind the curtain that goes, you're fat.
So what did you get?
I was like 230, and I got like 26% body fat when I first went in. And so she was like, yeah, how many times are you going to come in? Like 5 or 6 days a week. I was like, 5 or 6 days a week, you know. She's like, oh, you can pretty much eat whatever you want. I was just, in my head, I'm like, she has no idea. I'm going to destroy. After a month, I had gained 10 pounds, which is not, it's probably mostly muscle or whatever. I think it was.
It was.
I was like, I think I'd lost a pound the third month, and I was like, look, man, I lost a pound.
From what you already gained.
Yeah, from what I had already gained. But the first month, I had gained 10 pounds, and I was going a lot. And this poor guy who was just starting to come in, he was like, how long have you been coming? I was like, a month. And he's like, have you noticed any differences? I was like, yeah, I gained 10 pounds. He was like, what? It's like, I was coming pretty regularly. He's like, what do you eat? I go, everything.
Yeah. But let me say this, because Patrick is at the fattest point in his life. It's the fattest he's ever been.
Thank you.
He got on the pull-up bar the other day, and I know what you guys are doing is working, because he went, and it's one of those pull-up bars where there's a bar here, and then like a foot and a half up, there's another bar. And you did 5 pull-ups, boom, jump to the next one, back down. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was thoroughly impressed. I'm doing my pull-ups with a resistance band to help me get my fat ass up there.
Well, that's what I told you. I was there the last time you did the in-body. Mm-hmm. He gained weight, but he lost so much body fat percentage and went up in skeletal muscle mass.
And all the body fat went from here to here.
No, it's in my gut.
I think you're Truman, and it's kind of like everyone loses the last part.
That's beer.
I'm thicker than a Snickers.
I think that's beer.
I wonder, like, challenge yourself not drink beer for a month and see what happens.
I'm down. Not really. I could try. You're not drinking at all, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you changed it earlier. You're not going to drink this year.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I'm not drinking this whole year.
Is that part of, like, the February for you? You can do that, or?
Sure. Do you want that to be
She's
one of your
doing
goals?
Oh yeah. Oh, I thought.
No, for him.
Isn't February 28 days?
Yeah.
No, that's bullshit.
I mean,
give him a 31
short,
day.
What is that, like 20... Oh, math again, 24 days. I could do that.
Why is it 24 days?
He's
Because we
28.
started on the 4th.
We start on Monday, the 1st.
Tomorrow's the
Tomorrow.
I thought it was February for you. I
Yeah,
thought we
like
started on the
for
4th. You're
you.
an idiot. It's
Oh.
February.
Feb for you.
I thought it started on the 4th.
No,
I was like,
for
oh, that's
you.
cool.
It starts tomorrow.
Why wouldn't you put FOR?
I think you're the only one that thought that.
Jesus. Alright, 28 days. I'll do it.
Yeah.
So now I got we've had 2 podcasts. We had another guy come in. Carnell Lee's a big swim bait guy. Now I have to throw only big swim baits
For this year.
in February.
Oh, you're
Or,
only
no,
doing a
no,
month?
for this year. And then now I can't drink beer. My
I
life is
make-
getting ruined because of this podcast.
I make no obligations because I don't want to be held accountable.
I mean, you already did. You said you're not going to smoke cigarettes.
Today?
You said for the rest of your life.
Dude, I can't control it. My stomach's going crazy. I'm getting hungry.
You want
Even
one?
another cookie.
Gimme. Thank you. What are your goals going to be?
Let's see. For family, definitely spending more time with my sisters and my mom. I feel like sometimes I get so wrapped up with doing all my things. They live 5 minutes away from me, and I need to make more of a point to go over there and spend time with them. For fitness, I just need to bless you.
Is there a cat in here? I think it's your beard.
For fitness, just continuing to make my training a priority in Muay Thai. I kind of fell off a little bit, especially not having the space of like a martial arts school to continue that training, so doing that for myself. For my feels, just letting myself feel. I'm pretty terrible at being emotional in front of people, and that's necessarily meaning I need to like start crying right now.
We
But
have tissues if you want some.
thank you. But no, it's just more letting myself feel things without holding it in.
You've been working on that, right?
Yeah, privately.
Are you-
Yeah, thanks, Pat.
What do you mean, privately?
I've been working on that with me, not
Yeah.
our audience.
Oh. So how do you work on that?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm not very emotional in the sense to where I meet true admiration with a flamethrower.
Okay.
What did you just say?
I
You
meet
what?
people with true admiration for me, like that are very. I meet it with a flamethrower. I
you
don't.
can't accept a compliment?
I don't process that well. I'm very bad at the I love yous, that kind of shit.
When you say I love you to me,
No, that's see like I love them.
I love you, filler.
But you would never say
It's just like ugh. I don't want to do it.
Why?
But I don't know.
Do you
I
know
don't
what?
know. That's why I'm working on it with me.
Do you think that like it was hard for you to accept love growing up?
What kind of a podcast are we doing here?
Yeah.
We're getting deep right now.
We're getting deep. Let's go.
I don't know. I don't know, guy. I gotta go to a shrink.
We're trying.
I don't want to talk about this. This is
We're-
bullshit. Go back to that. I'll go to another workout. I'm sorry.
Now we're getting the mental workout in.
Yeah. Fuck this.
Off camera, we're gonna have a chat about this.
Okay.
But yeah, and then for the last one, fun is just reminding myself to enjoy every moment. I mean, I think I'm pretty much like bouncing off the walls all the time, but
Yeah.
truly taking in the moment that I'm living. Like just me walking at the beach. One of my favorite things to do is walking on the Esplanade. I try to do it once a day if I can.
Yeah, I see it on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm like at the beach all the time. And it's just a happy place for me, and I like being by myself or with people, just walking along, seeing the sunset. Little things like getting the coffee that I like every day. And I don't know, just living in the moment. And so those are my 4 things.
I'm gonna have to think for sure about those 4 things. I have no idea. Not drinking beer. Which one does that fall into? Feels. Because I feel terrible.
I think you'll do good.
I think so too.
I
Hopefully.
think we
My
got.
allergies are going off. I don't know what's
I
going on.
think we got Phil like in his feels right now.
Yeah.
And so
Philip's about
we're-
to cry, dude. Look
we're-
at
Hey, it was a great podcast, guys.
Philip.
Check us out on.
Just cry.
I I don't cry. It's not my
Just
thing.
do it. You're about to.
I'm
right
gonna
now.
blow a snot rocket on it. That's what I'm about to do.
Well,
This is what happens when you bring on a girl that doesn't go fishing. On
Yeah, now we're talking about feelings. The hell?
Oh, everybody's gonna be like,
Carnell, please come back, Carnell. Let's talk about giant swim bait bass.
I like this. This is fun.
It was good up until it was at me. And I was like, what the?
Should we just focus on Philip?
No.
Let's-
Go. This is not about me. These guys had enough of me.
I know. What else is going on at the Blueprint? You guys got a clothing store.
Yeah, we're
That's pretty
working
cool.
on new clothes.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to drop another line very soon. We just finished our last one, still selling all of our stuff. We just got our Laker Dodger gear in, but we're working on a couple other things right now that I'm excited to release. I drew another fun little design up that will probably come out middle of February time.
And how can people sign up for the Blueprint?
So you can either go to our Instagram handle, which is at the Blueprint LA. I believe the link in our bio allows you to go to our 3-day trial, which is on our website. So you'd submit your 3-day trial there. If not, just going to our website, which is theblueprintla.com, and then there you can register for your 3 free days. Someone will contact you, and then most likely the second person that contacts you will be me.
Sweet. And go ahead.
Well, I'm their contact person that will meet you and greet you, bring you into class, and just show you how everything works.
They got that wired because you're so bubbly and you're so nice, and so that's the perfect position. for you.
Totally tricked me.
I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
How do people get a private lesson with you?
Just by reaching out to me, or if
On
you,
Instagram, or?
you can Instagram. My Instagram is at @bpla_Ivana, or you can just DM the Blueprint page as well. If you're in the gym and want to come in, I think a good way to check out, see which coach works best for you. We kind of all have our own niches, but yeah, the best way to do it is just by either on Instagram or in person. You can always email in and say hey, I'm looking for X, Y, and Z, and we can put you to the best trainer.
Cool. Sweet. That's awesome. And before we end this podcast, Philip, I want you to talk about the podcast that was just before this podcast. And I want to give Friedman Adventures a plug because that was I sat out in the green room listening to that podcast, Ivana. It was probably the best podcast I've ever heard in my life.
So, you want to talk about feels.
Yeah.
It's been a day of feels.
Today, so what had happened is we had a captain on Friedman Adventures who told a story of rescuing a 9-year-old girl in the middle of the ocean about 35 years ago. That episode aired last Tuesday. We got a message from a guy that goes, that was my coworker. I know that girl. And so he sent us their information. We did a deal where we told them that we were going to do a Spanish interview and we were going to have a translator here, but it was the little girl, 35 years later, all grown up.
Wow.
So she came in as a translator, they told the story, and then right after that story, my dad goes, hey guys, I've got something to tell you. She's not our translator, that's the little girl you saved. And they just broke down in tears.
Yeah.
She got to ask questions that she had because she had never talked to these guys, and then they had questions that they got to ask, and it all just, it was literally the most powerful thing I've ever been a part of in my life. It was beautiful.
Did you cry?
So awesome.
I
want to
did.
cry right now.
I
did.
I just
Everyone
think
was
about-
crying about it. It's like all these fishing captains,
Hard,
everybody's
salty
like,
guys. I did the white girl wedding move. I was sitting there and my
What's
eyes
that
started.
mean?
The white girl wedding move?
Yeah, what is that? Did you really?
Yeah.
I wanted to walk away. It was too powerful.
But it was literally one of the most powerful experiences I've ever been a part of in my life, and it was beautiful. So
That's
it was
awesome.
amazing. And then the cool part about it all was that all came out on the air, and then after this, walked the 2 captains outside to meet her family that they had a big part in creating. And everybody that was on her boat died that day. Her mother, her father, her aunt, her uncle, and her little sister.
They were just floating. She was just floating by herself.
She went into detail on it, man. It was really
Super
one of
sad.
those. It's super sad, but it tells you how much fight you got in you.
Fuck
You know.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Before we end the podcast, I want to say a couple things. Bass Bros t-shirts. You want one? Hit me up on Instagram. Ivana, I have one for you. I didn't bring it. I'm gonna give it to you on Monday. Like and subscribe. Bass Bros Podcast. We do fishing videos too, so if you want to stay updated on some of the lakes, I think the next one we're doing Paris. We're gonna have a lot of Lake Paris videos.
Yeah, we'll feel that bite out, and whatever we figure out, we'll let you guys know what's working for us.
Frequent Adventures Podcast. If you're a saltwater guy, that's your podcast.
Yeah.
That was the best podcast.
Yeah, if you want to hear that story.
Yeah, it's so good.
I mean, you need to hear it. It's amazing.
Yeah, subscribe, turn on notifications. That helps us out. And anything else, Father? Am I missing?
We should do a giveaway here, but I don't know.
Oh
if
yeah,
we
we're
want
thinking
to
about
announce
doing a fishing giveaway where you get to fish with us.
Whoa.
We'll talk about
Can
our
I win?
feelings.
Yeah, you can.
We're gonna talk about
Yeah, come on out. We'll talk about feelings all day.
I'm gonna sit with my swim bait rod and my non-alcoholic beverage.
Yes!
Yeah.
So yeah,
We'll figure out the
we're doing
details
like a
of that.
doomsday giveaway / fishing giveaway. Just follow us, and then you'll see it. And anything else, Billy?
That's it.
Everybody get in shape. Health. All right, deuces.
Bye.
Thank y'all.